Welcome to my YouTube titled Sita, a poem by Nandini Sahu. This is Canto-7 from my long narrative poem Sita, a poem. In this canto, I am talking about the proximity of Sita, a poem, with folk narratives. However, it doesn't mean that generic boundaries collapse absolutely, and the creative exchange of techniques or modes of articulation across the genres, they do not imply that the distinctions perish. The fact that me, despite being a compiler of folk tales, chose poetic form for my creative aspirations and inspirations. This has to be paid attention. The choice of poetic form is not arbitrary. It is inherent in the nature of the experience itself. We cannot transfer the same experience from one form to another without deadening its quick throb. Once dead, it can be transferred anywhere, to a play, to theatre, to poem, or to short story, or to novel. But it would be a dead play, a dead poem, and a sad story or a sad novel. The folk narratives, despite being archetypes of consciousness, remain subtextual to my poetic enterprise. A cardinal question, however, remains unanswered in any form, even in this long narrative poem, Sita's poem. The question is, do the oral narratives, which have been my inspiration in making Sita a poem, form the inner or even the innate world of my poetic inspiration? Or do I use these narratives to generate some kind of postmodernist intertextuality? These questions are answered in the Canto 7 of the poem Sita, a poem. Now let me recite the poem for you. Canto 7. Resembling a spillway, a channel from the bow, the Puspaka flew at the hustle of gust, seething the southern sea, the sea creatures gaping and viewing me with awe. Ravan was heedless to my reprimanding and my laments, fanatical with his proud self-esteem. I saw a few wanderers thronged together and promoted towards them my jewels, anticipating you would acquire them from the monkeys. Ravan, the wisest scholar, as they call him, where did he fleece his knowledge, his wisdom, when my tears pattered on the sea, merging with the Bay of Bengal, clumsier and molten? His laugh did tippet my hopes optimistic, hurt, clouded my unblemished sky, and a mystic, pleasant pain in your adoration, sending off the inception of dark. Why couldn't you come at the instant, O Ram, O Almighty? You could have very well emanated to sojourn the inevitable and cover me with the pinafore of your care. Why didn't you come when evil beguiled me with threats, scares, and fears? My departure from Ram was but the parting of the inherent soul from the absolute being. Sita, your alter ego was two brief seasons for you. The metaphor of our love is taken as twofold of divinity and humanity, the body's absorption with the soul. Did you ever caution me of this future Mercuric when I had the feminine longing for the golden deer? Your distress over me is in semblance with God's concern for his devotee, who needs redemption from the cycle of birth and death. You, God incarnate Ram, were now in search of your true aficionado Sita, who was humanizing herself in the art of loneliness, solitude, and love of the flora and fauna of ecology pure. Yes, I learned the art of depersonalizing, of detaching myself, from my sorrows and contentment. I was getting the urge to cherish a worship with color and charm and merge with the dewdrops on the flowers, who were unpolluted archetypes of transparent joy and have a tranquil, restful heart as the clear waters in the brooks and the weeping, mourning rivers. In the storm of my tears, O Lord, why weren't you there? Civility says a man is her wife's protector and provider. You were inconsolable, I am sure, my dear. It's all inscribed in the Kiskindya Kanda of Valmiki's Ramayana. Lakshman followed his grief-stricken brother, and both of you searched for me in the Kadambavana and in pools, hills, rivers, near the seething fauna of deer, elephant, bear, tiger, and I was nowhere to be seen. You cried with the lake of lotuses, the pampa, caroling her beauty with mine. In your fringe, you interrogated the sun, the wind, the sea waves, the periphetic spontaneously as they did. If they could give you any update, you and I were now one with Mother Nature, Ram beside the pampa and Sita in the Ashokavana. In intense silence, you and brother Lakshman arched towards the south. You caught sight of the footprints of a punitive skirmish between me and the Rakshas. You were susceptible and vowed to resign yourself if Sita is besieged. You chanced upon the colossal body of the weakened, dying Jatayu, who informed you my predicament just before taking his last breath at your feet. You were perturbed. You blamed yourself for loss of father, wife, and now father's friend. Both of you swore to destroy evil in the form of Ravan and release Sita. Tell me, O Lord, why do we subject a woman at every age as a means to an end? To kill Ravan, to wipe evil out, was it indispensable to make Sita a victim? To fight the Mahabharata war, was it required to disrobe Draupadi in the dice hall of Hastinapur? To make a society of successful men who are so-called future supports of aging parents and so-called protectors and providers, is it needed to conceive a female fetus and kill her unborn? To boost male ego, violating a woman, is it must? Past, present, and the future are a profane snare, a mesh dexterously woven gossamers of relationships. For a woman are intricate, there is no escape. This I have learned from you, my lord. But now that I was thrown open to a world unknown, alone and unprotected, Sita, the woman, has ventured to voice.